first because the guys we've met outside, I don't know if it's the same people, I can't quite see faces here. But there's a sitting around, and it's like a picture, it's like a painting of parliamentarians sitting by the fire, some playing some kind of board game in a corner. Do you know, it's almost like that snapshot of a painting. So I guess this is where they kind of hung out, I suppose.
Right, okay. So that's who you're just picking up in this room. Any activity?
Two things, but they're both taking me upstairs. One is the woman I saw earlier, the white woman. Another is the sound of Gregorian chant in my ear. So that would say monk.
Right.
That rings the monk bell, really.
Yeah. Do you want to head upstairs?
I would like to, because that's where everything is kind of like drifting upstairs.
That way.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, brilliant.
Definitely.
Interestingly, parliamentarian forces do hold a strong connection to this house, with their residual energies previously being associated to this exact spot. But why were his white woman and now a holy man pulling David upstairs?
At some point, obviously the two buildings were linked, and it's probably really clear that this was a doorway here, because Kieran's going to say you can see it's a doorway.
Where?
Here. If you look, look.
Oh, right, yeah.
But what was interesting for me was as we came up the stairs, someone went through it. Someone just walked through it.
Who was someone?
A monk.
Right.
A young monk. But he was carrying a tray.
What's on
so
the tray?
So it was a waiter monk. Food. It was something very simple. I mean, I can't quite see what's on the tray, but it was covered with a white cloth, and there was a jug on it of ale or something, some kind of drink. And he carried it and just went that way. So he came from down there and he just shot through that wall there.
Right.
Now that says to me that he was obviously looking after people.
Yeah.
I want to go just down here. Because there is another monk here, it's not this one.
This modern-day house is formed from two separate buildings, both of which were originally sited at a nearby abbey. And whilst one half of Sinai House may now lie derelict, we were able to head into the inappropriately named guest bedroom, a space where many simply refuse to stay.
It feels as if there's a soul in here who doesn't particularly want us to be here now. He's not aggressive in the way, he's not a pusher. He's very active. I think it's more a case of he just doesn't want us to be in this atmosphere because he's grumpy. He's a grumpy old man, or a grumpy old monk.
Right.
A very senior. He may even have been an abbot. I don't know. He may even have been as senior as that. But this young monk that's looking after him, it almost seems like that relationship is still continuing.
Do you get the impression that it would have just been those two monks in this building at the time?
No, because the other one, in my mind, he's going off to join other people. And this is part of a service for him. It's part of a duty of care for him to look after this monk. It seems to me that it's more... Because I can see them all going off to prayer, to worship.
So you're almost saying that this could be a type of monastery, or was?
Yeah. It almost, because of this, it feels like a rest home for old monks. Ye olde rest home for old monks. It feels... I don't know what you call that. Because, a monastery to me would be somewhere with a big old chapel and the worship. But it seems as if it's just them, just the monks.
Richard,
doesn't seem as many people come in.
Richard, was there such a thing as a rest home for...
I mean, this was a sanatorium, if you like, for monks, Benedictine monks from the abbey. But it was like an infirmary, a sanatorium and a rest home.
Centuries ago, this building's original name was a derivative of the French translation for the word blood. And as David was about to discover, it is due to this very same ancient ritual that many of its holy inhabitants once stayed here.
This is like a continuation of what I was getting earlier. It's this busyness of a monastery. And I know that Richard said they came here, called it a sanatorium. Therefore, they've come here for rest, either mental rest or physical rest. I guess it's an old-fashioned word for hospital, isn't it, really? But it's interesting for me, along here, there seems to be more of the common or garden monks, your regular monks.
Right.
they're bloodletting. So they're being allowed to bleed.
What was that for?
I guess it's to cleanse the system of toxins. It's
Is that what they did?
That's exactly what they would have done
Oh,
at
really?
that time, during that time, yeah.
so it's almost, I can see it like running down their arms into cups,
Oh.
and the cups being collected, and then them being.
And that would have happened in here?
It feels to me as if there's probably about 4 beds. It feels like up here, in order, almost like a ward, really.
Right. Okay. Are there any names with these monks that you're getting?
There doesn't seem to be anything that's sticking out, to
Right.
be honest with you. The only name that's really strong in this house is Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Henry's very strong,
Right.
but I haven't come across him with a monk on it.
Okay. All right.
Having possibly picked up on one of this building's more colourful characters, we move further through the attic where David was about to deliver a bombshell that would shatter any of this building's holy intentions, as well as give us a clearer identity to this building's famous Grey Lady.
Is she in here?
She's not in here, but I'm going to try and... She's more out there. I'm just going to try and link with her, because she does seem active. She seems very quick. By that I mean her engine moves very quickly.
Mm.
You know, she's not a big old graceful thing.
Right.
And that in my mind usually means they're quite young, because the quickness of the movement
Right.
there. So it means she's quite young and pregnant,
Oh.
young and pregnant.
Right.
And I can feel it here. Give me the words "holy baby."
Ooh.
Now, I'm not thinking it's the second coming has arrived somewhere.
Right.
Don't think he arrived.
You're thinking a bit of intrigue related to the monks, is that?
Yes, exactly what I'm thinking. It's holy baby, and there's a cross on the stomach
So she's pregnant
by a monk.
by a monk.
Yeah, by a monk.
Wow.
So that's not a good thing. Which is probably why she's still grounded, because of the shame of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd imagine that something like that would have been a huge shame.
Is there any names with this woman then?
It's like Isabel or
Right.
Isabella, perhaps, something
Yeah.
like that.
What happened to her?
She's pushed down a stair. Don't think the baby was allowed to live. Looks to me like oops. Oh dear, you're not quite dead, Bumf.
By whom?
That would be the Iron Monks. No one else seems to be here.
God, what a sad story.
Mm,
So would she have
it's really
spent
sad.
time here?
I have the impression that she was a carer. She might have cooked.
Although no records exist to identify such serving staff, I also wanted to hear more about Henry, a name that David strongly associates with Sinai House. And once back on the ground floor, the medium was able to ascertain who this man may be.
I wanted to bring you back into this room.
Yeah.
Because you came up with a name earlier on, that of Henry. And I know I don't like to put pressure on, but it'd be really nice if you could try and see if you can get a surname for this Henry.
Right. Just see the room again. I've got the room with... obviously a bit rougher with these soldiers in it, but he doesn't seem to belong to their time. He's dressed different. He's actually dressed in very grand clothes. A sort of heavily embroidered, or embroidered's the wrong word. It's, the gold stuff. What's it called? Should have known. I'm a forces man myself. It's like army. That army gold. The
Yes,
braid.
the braid,
The
yeah.
braid. So it's up here. But she's suggesting to me that he was an army man, or big boots, like Wellington's kind of big boots. So again, cavalry. So it's all coming down.